Welcome back to the Fantasy Forge podcast, training camp edition. We've really enjoyed watching all 32 teams come back to the field over the past couple weeks. There's a lot of sleepers out there who have made their way onto training camp practice fields who are hoping to walk away with a spot on the 53-man roster. But the biggest news of training camp comes from Dallas, Texas, and the Dallas Cowboys, where Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones have neglected to negotiate with Micah Parsons, and they're just going to let him ride off into the sunset potentially. Joe, how are you doing over there?
Yeah, I've been on this train for a long time as a legitimate Cowboys fan, not just one of those weird bandwagon Cowboys fans, but like a depressed Cowboys fan, because I have been out on Jerry Jones for a long time, and we argue with our friend Connor about this all the time. He thinks he's
Clyde,
an awesome guy. He's a great manager and all this shit, great owner. He's not. He sucks. He waits way too long to sign our veteran key players who have just Hall of Fame talent. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go off on a massive rant here, but again, I mean, he's a generational defensive talent who has transformed our team since 2021. So, like, the fact that he's tweeting all this shit saying he's going to leave and he wants to trade is like really depressing. I'm just going to pretend like that's not happening, and we'll see. But on a serious note, it's kind of weird. Like, Jerry Jones is saying they came to a deal in March. Micah Parsons' agent is like, no, dude, we didn't. Like, we had text message exchange. And so I don't know what the deal is. Like, I saw a headline on the TV at the bar the other day, and it was like, Jerry Jones not trading, Parsons. So I don't really know what the hell is going on. It's a little weird, but what do you guys think about it?
I thought Jerry doesn't even communicate with agents. He'll only talk to the player. So there's somebody lying over there. Like, nobody's telling the truth in this situation. But my take is, like, are they just acknowledging that they're about to go into a tank era where they don't want to pay Parsons buku money, and they know Dak's deal is approaching up, and they are just going to be dog shit for 2 to 3 years, and they're content in letting Parsons walk? That's the only thing that hasn't been asked yet.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what it is with Dallas and our GMs, our owners, just letting generational Hall of Fame level talents just walk and treating them all like shit. Like, it took a ridiculously long time to get a deal done with CD, which was blowing my mind. Actually, went to some of the OTAs, and it was like interesting to see him just kind of like watching, holding in or whatever you're holding. Would he be holding in if he's like there, or holding out? What is the fucking?
No, it's holding in. Corey's an expert in that with Trey Hendrickson.
I am.
But yeah,
it's confusing.
It's weird that we wait so long to get deals done. But I mean,
yeah, no. My only thoughts on the situation is something happened where Jerry talked to him one-on-one. I picture it like the scene from Division 3 where they kind of corner him in the room, and he's like, pull the fucking trigger, boy. And he's like questioning him over there, making him give him a number. But no, something happened where he made some comments to Jerry on the side, that he thought was a casual conversation. And then Jerry's trying to say that, oh, we agreed on a number already. Your agent doesn't need to be involved here. It's really weird. I don't know. Giving me dementia vibes, to be honest, but I don't know.
Big time. Honestly, we don't have a great culture in Dallas. My opinion, I know there was that article that came out a while ago that Dallas just treats their players like zoo animals. But just the whole culture that Jerry has set up in Dallas, I don't like it. I think he kind of uses these guys as money pigs, and not really he's not very focused on winning or bringing a Super Bowl to Dallas. So
yeah, Patriots are, I think, number 3 or number 4 odds to trade for him. I'll give you multiple firsts, multiple seconds for that guy. He is a game breaker for sure. With Mike Vrabel, dude, I hope the Patriots are the landing spot, but something tells me he's not going anywhere. I'm sure that he's going to have to get paid. He's not going to sit there half the season. So maybe they come to an agreement. That'll be a win for Jerry, I guess, on paper, but it tells the rest of the players within the Cowboys organization, don't care how good you are, you're just a number. And I don't know that it's going to help them attract some of the marquee free agents that they've historically landed, just because they're obviously a huge brand with great facilities. So we'll see. we'll see what continues to unfold. But Joe, I hope your boy stays in white and silver and blue.
Yeah, I hope so too. I appreciate the sentiment, man.
I would hate to lose a guy like that, but
I would be very upset.
All right. Well, we have plenty to talk about today. Not just the Micah Parsons news, but plenty of news coming out around the league. And we'll actually start in the mid to small market of Indianapolis. And Corey's going to update us on some things going on at Colts camp with Anthony Richardson.
Absolutely. So you guys heard our rant on CMC the other day. Gonna not try and get as passionate here, but everybody on Twitter seems to have amnesia. And again, I'm going to use this term beating the drum for Anthony Richardson to have a comeback here. So I just want to remind everybody a little bit about Anthony Richardson, what's happened the last few seasons, and especially that he still has the red jersey on, which has been the biggest problem for him is staying healthy. So Anthony Richardson, 23-year-old, he has 8 touchdowns, 1,800 yards, and 12 interceptions. He's thrown more interceptions than touchdowns through 2 seasons. His interception rate is 5.3% of his attempts, and that has not been matched since Brett Favre in 2010. He has a career completion percentage of 50.6%, aka garbage, and the lowest among all NFL starters in the past 2 years. So he has a good O-line. He doesn't have a Joe Burrow issue where he's running around like crazy trying to, stay alive back there and not tear something else in his shoulder. But he's missed 6 games in 2024 due to injury. That was alone just last year. He has lingering shoulder soreness. He's had a previous shoulder surgery on his AC joint. And again, let me remind you, he still has the red jersey on when he's looking so good in camp here. So the Colts brought in Danny Dimes for competition in the offseason. There's rumors swirling. One day it's Danny Dimes looking like the starter. The next day it's Anthony Richardson looking like the savior of this franchise. So it's just a lot of conflicting things coming out. Everybody on Twitter, again, is just like, oh my God, Anthony Richardson, I'm ready. He's back. Everyone buy. And I'm just like, absolutely not. The most damning part of this, I think, just to kind of end my rant here, is that he asked to come out of a game last year. I don't know if people are just forgetting that. He got roasted by Pat McAfee, just being like, this is such a bad look. Like, this is your franchise quarterback, and this is what he's doing. Like, he ran 3 plays in a row and then is begging to come out of the game. His own center, in an interview said, "That's a tough look," in quotes. So Anthony's own quote on this was, "Tired, I ain't gonna lie. That was a lot of running right there that I just did. I didn't think I'd be able to do that next play, so I told him I needed a break right there." Sell this man while you can. That's all I got.
Quick question. You mentioned the red jersey. Have other quarterbacks on other teams shifted to full contact? Am I missing something here? Because Drake May's still in the red jersey too, and now I'm getting nervous.
My point with this is that you take this red jersey off of him, and he's going to take contact, and he's going to get hurt again.
Okay, I got you. I misunderstood.
So sorry to be confusing, but he's got the red jersey on, and of course he looks like a stud when he's not getting touched.
That's on me.
That guy runs like a couple times in a row, gets hit, and his shoulder falls off. So I just can't. I don't know. It's like everybody has amnesia, and they're just so hype on this guy. And if you have this guy in Dynasty, I think this is your last chance to sell this guy high.
I think the ship has sailed in Dynasty. I mean, we're looking at Anthony Richardson. He is the most volatile, high-risk quarterback investment that you could possibly make in Dynasty fantasy football, especially entering the season. Still hasn't been named the starter. Am I right there? Like, there's an open competition between him and Danny Pennies, aka Danny Dimes or Daniel Jones. We call him Danny Pennies here. I mean, like, if we're comparing the two, like, you would think you could easily just beat out Danny Pennies and like it's just no big deal. He's ass. He has a career 64% completion rate and a lower turnover rate than Richardson, where in contrast, Richardson has just completed 47% of his passes across 15 career appearances. And boys, only 12 of those games saw him play more than half the snaps. And we're in Shane Steichen's RPO heavy, quarterback run friendly system, which helped elevate guys like Jalen Hurts in Philly. Why is Richardson struggling? And also, like, how long before the Colts realize like it's time to move on? You look at guys like Josh Rosen, drafted 10th overall by the Cardinals in 2018, traded just after one season. Johnny Football. We all know and love him. Drafted 22nd overall by the Browns in 2014. He had off-the-field issues, yada, yada. He lasted 2 seasons. Not to bring up a sore subject here, Patriots fan, but Mac Jones. Drafted 15th overall by the Patriots in 2021. Traded to the Jags last year.
I don't know who that is.
Again, like if you have this guy in Dynasty, it's just like it's a lot of risk. He doesn't have the long-term upside. I don't know how long he's gonna be there with the Colts. He's an injury-prone project in a run-heavy system with no guaranteed role. If you're trying to win now, or even just looking for stable development for this age bracket, I'm looking at guys like CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, dare I say even Justin Fields offer more clarity and reliability than this guy. I think if you want to bet on Richardson, you're just going to be absorbing massive short-term risk for a future that's more than likely never going to materialize. So I think when they put in Joe Flacco in 2024 and they became more efficient, that's pretty freaking telling. I don't know. I'm just off the guy. I think, this paired with all of his injuries and everything else that's going on with him, like, dude, I don't even know if he'll be with the team in like a few years. He might just be another Josh Rosen, Trey Lance type guy,
Throwing him in the combo with Rosen's tough, man. I mean, there's not many worse than Josh Rosen, but I feel you. I feel you. You're not speaking any lies. I'll cap this conversation just 2 quick points because I think Joe had a lot statistically for everybody. I'll give you just 2 aesthetic things, eye test, if you will. Our good friend Clyde likes to talk about the eye test a lot. If you think about quarterbacks throughout the National Football League, how many good quarterbacks wear a visor full time? Oh, wait. I can give you one that does wear one full time. Kyler Murray. So, like, you may think that is. Let me break this down for you. I'm going somewhere with this. All right. People who wear visors are afraid of getting turf and dirt and shit in their eyes. Why are they afraid of that? Because they're running. And he's never been a pass-first quarterback, ever. Even when he was drafted wildly, like renowned as a reach out of Florida. Everybody's like, why did the Colts draft this guy? They could have gotten him at 17 through 20, whatever the number was in that draft. The book on him was he's incredibly inefficient and he relies too much on the run. I don't know, man. The visor may tell a little bit of the piece of the story here. Same thing with Kyler Murray. Yes, he's a little bit of a better passer than Richardson, 100%. No one's
pretty mind-blowing. I've never thought about that. That's pretty mind-blowing.
It's something I look for in the quarterbacks, and I'll have to do some additional research, but off the top of my mind, the only 2 starters in the league that wear one full-time are Richardson and Kyler. Like, I'm not talking about rain games or like anything like that. Josh Allen's throwing one on from time to time, but all of the elite quarterbacks don't wear one. Secondly, this guy I mentioned it earlier, like the reach by the Colts, I think has led to Anthony Richardson being overvalued for the vast majority of his very short career. If this guy went in the 2nd round, we would not even be having this conversation. Nobody would be getting riled up about Anthony saying like, this is the comeback tour. This conversation would be closed as of last year because he's not good. And you're competing with Danny Pennies for a starting role on a team that's not good. So anyway, all that to say, I've been out on Richardson for a hot bit. There's a lot of options out there. Joe gave you a few of them. I even don't disagree with the Justin Fields comment, which like I feel like there's knives being like shoved into me as I say that, but like the guy can at least run an offense and create and actually runs to throw instead of the other way around. So totally out on this guy. Corey, I'm with you on this one, buddy.
Joe, you said the Justin Fields thing, and I wanted to immediately just be like, that is terrible. Like, why would you, that is damning. And then I was like, no, that's pretty good.
I mean, you got to think about it. Why are we just forgetting that all of this happened? I mean, with the hip issues, with the shoulder issues, the awful, and like 47% completion. Dude, if you're not throwing at least 60%, like you're not even in the fucking NFL.
Yeah.
And again, those metrics come from him playing half the snaps.
And don't get me wrong, I get the appeal like in real life and in Dynasty here because I drafted this guy in 2 leagues. I traded this guy in 2 leagues for a good return last offseason. but he's big. He can run. He can truck people. He's got a massive cannon. That his deep throws actually aren't that inaccurate. It's just every other throw he has to make with any sort of finesse is terrible. So, yeah, Keith, I love the visor take. I think the only one you're missing here is Lamar. And, can't say too much shit about him, but Kyler's a pretty rough comparison. So, yeah, I think we hit on everything. I think we can go deeper into the stats that it just gets like uglier and uglier for this guy. But again, if you can get anything out of value from this guy right now, I think this is your last chance. So
let me ask you guys, like, how long do we think this guy stays on the Colts? If he keeps up like what we've seen from him since he was drafted in, was it 2023? I think. Like, how long do we think he stays on the Colts? When do they draft another quarterback or move on from this guy?
I think this is it. I think if he has another rough year and doesn't significantly improve, I think they're done.
As soon as he gets benched, he'll request a trade probably. Like next season he's not with the Colts. No chance.
I don't think so either. I think this is a prove it year. Big time. He cannot get injured. He cannot afford to have another hip, another shoulder, nothing like that. He has to stay healthy and prove it.
That means also, he can't run.
Yeah, exactly. So, like,
he's cashed.
I think he is cashed, man. And like, dude, I know we're talking Danny Pennies here, but like, again, he's got a better proven production history than this guy. It's just it's an interesting situation there. And then also like the Colts, dude, like they lost a couple veteran O-linemen, I know. It's a little scary over there. I mean, you don't have like a lot of weapons. I mean, what do you have? Josh Downs and Michael Pittman, and you do. You know what's crazy is like he has had Jonathan Taylor this whole time. Like you would think that he could at least get that completion percentage metric up, but like, yeah, I mean, I won't beat a dead horse. I know I currently am, but this guy is ultra mega cash. Can we just make that like a new segment, like ultra mega cash? Like this guy,
ultra mega cash of the week.
Yes. Like, dude, it's funny. There's like a little bit of camp buzz, and people are like, "All right, hey, yeah, let's go. He's our new guy,
dude." That's what I'm saying.
We need the Colts guy, the Colts dancing guy. We need to have him on.
Oh
see what
my
he thinks.
God!
No, I can't. I'm gonna reserve comment on that idea. But no, man. Crazy. I just we're out there on Twitter, and it's just tough, man. This guy just makes. Yeah. Please follow us _Fantasy Forge. But yeah, he completes like a 10-yard pass, and they're like, "All right, wrap it up. We're done. QB1, we're back." Just no.
He's going to throw a minimum of 20 picks this year if he starts the majority of the games. Guaranteed.
Dude, poor Colts fans, though. Like I feel for you, man. I really do.
Since Manning left, they had Andrew Luck.
Bro.
They had Andrew Luck retire early. That's backbreaking without warning either. That's a topic for another time. If we have a rainy day, we can just talk about how wild that retirement was.
Trying to fill that hole. Pause.
Gaping. Gaping hole, dude. Just speaking of gaping holes, there's a player on the Los Angeles Rams that has one in their back. And developing news out of Rams camp is that Matthew Stafford's been seeing a back specialist. And regardless of Sean McVay saying he's looking good and feeling good, I don't think Corey's too convinced on that. Corey, what do you think about Matthew Stafford's news here? Keep in mind, before you start talking, Patriots legend Jimmy Garoppolo is the backup in LA. Just throwing that out there.
Absolutely. I am petrified as someone that may, and Keith, you are with me here, have to take Puka Nacua in our redraft. He's seeing a specialist for the second time in 2 weeks. Their QB depth chart is Jimmy Garoppolo, Stetson Bennett, otherwise known as the alcoholic, and Dresser Wynn from UT.
Who is that?
Dresser Wynn.
No, dude, that's not his name, man.
I shit you not.
Change it, guy.
This is the state we are in without Mr. Stafford. So
what is the guy's name?
Dresser, like the piece of furniture, Wynn, Winn.
Dude, this isn't real. I'm checking this.
Keith, fact check this right now, man.
Yeah. So that's where we're at.
Where did he go to college?
UT Martin.
Oh my God, he's real.
And that's the extent of my knowledge of Mr. Dresser. So
Mr. Dresser.
He looks like a finance bro that just like they paid $20 to put a Rams jersey on.
Man.
So pretty tough, slim pickings. Jimmy G didn't look too hot on the Raiders last time we saw him get any meaningful action. So losing Stafford, obviously a big downgrade here. He's a veteran, he's experienced, gritty, knows the offense super well. I just don't know what to make of Puka and, past that, Kyron Williams, if he is out for any extended period of time here. So he's getting old. I don't have his age written down, which is just super dumb of me, but is he 37, 38?
36.
36. He's getting up there. So, yeah, I don't know. I think we need to have a discussion, especially for redraft leagues here with the time of year that we're in. Like, where are we picking Puka if Stafford is out to start the year? Like, how this is a back thing that lingers, obviously. How long is he going to be out for? Are we putting him down in like the AJ Brown, Lad McConkey, Higgins range, like in the end of the second? I just don't know. It's bad all around for the Rams, and really bad for our boy Clyde, who has the Rams going all the way to the Super Bowl. So how are y'all feeling?
I'll hop in here first, and just if you go to the next slide, Joe, I want to talk about games where Puka Nacua started without Matthew Stafford under center. And the story here is actually not that bad. 10.7 and then 10.3 points. You can see the one touchdown there in the second game. My concern specifically with Puka Nacua is a yard after catch receiver. He's not somebody that they're really flashing into the backfield or catching these short passes like he candidly was supposed to coming out of BYU. They've used him way further downfield than we expected when he came into the league. You add in Devontae Adams. My point here is that I think Stafford's departure favors Devontae Adams over Puka Nacua. And of course, Devontae Adams is an over-the-top guy, but when I think of Jimmy Garoppolo trying to dump it off or hit quick, successive passes to a veteran receiver, I think he's going to favor Devontae Adams out of the two. I could see Adams stonks going up, Puka stocks going down if Stafford is confirmed to miss some time. Right now, I think Puka is getting drafted in the 7 to 8 range in redraft. I had the 7th pick. I'm certainly looking at him with the 7th pick and have drafted him probably 80% of the time. But this is something I have to consider. And, you got one of the top backups in the league with Jimmy G. I would definitely put him as a top 5 backup, but it's more so the Adams trade-off. And does Jimmy G favor the veteran receiver over a little bit more of an unproven guy in Puka? I think he does. And I would prefer if Matthew Stafford stay healthy and started the season off hot. Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much just mirrored all the talking points that I had. And I'm a Devontae Adams owner in Dynasty, so I hope it kind of, it's a little scary. It kind of sounds like they're already kind of gearing up to, like maybe slot in Jimmy G, which I agree, not like the worst backup quarterback that you could have, but man, Stafford, he's just he's getting old from an NFL perspective, and he's had a lot of health concerns for a long time, not just including the back, but I know he actually had a back. It was like a spinal cord contusion or something in 2022. So hopefully that doesn't have anything to do with it. But he had a throwing hand thumb injury in 2023 and rib injuries last year. He's just, again, from an NFL perspective, he's just getting a little old. And I agree, like, when he had Cooper Kupp and he had Puka, like you could have both of those guys and they're both guaranteed to get 1,000 yards. But yeah, if we're looking at Jimmy G as the starting quarterback, I'm going to be a little bit scared. And I want to follow this up by asking you guys who are, we haven't drafted in our redraft yet, but are you guys, if we had to draft right now, are you guys fading Puka at the 8th pick?
No.
Still good. Still taking him. What do we think, Corey?
It's tough to fade him because he's just the last one in that tier of stud wide receivers to me. So I don't think so. I think I'm banking on this all just being super precautionary, which it very well could be. This could be nothing. But the fact that he's seeing a specialist 2 times in 2 weeks is pretty damning. And we don't even know what it is. Is it a slip disc issue? Is it a muscle strain? Nobody knows. So I probably will still take him just because that tier break right there is pretty tough, as I would know from mock drafting. So I'll go with yes, but I'm not super confident about it.
Yeah, my response is a provisional no, assuming Saquon's off the board, assuming McCaffrey is off the board. Like, if we're dealing with Stafford news and you're faced with Puka and CMC on the board, I do not envy that person, and that means I'm probably not going to envy me here in like 2 months, because that is an awful place to be sitting. And I feel like no matter what I do, I'm going to pick the wrong guy. Like, the injury bug on people I draft is well documented.
Yeah. I mean, if Stafford goes down, I mean, we're looking at like a immediate impact to these guys. Adams Valley in particular, I mean, he's definitely tied to having a high level veteran quarterback like that. So I do like that for me. My dynasty team's like wide receivers are hanging on by a fucking thread right now. So like I wouldn't be super upset with this. Obviously, Puka's not falling to me. I've got the 102. But yeah, I mean, hopefully he stays healthy. But I'd be a little concerned because I know he was having back issues in 2022. Hopefully, it doesn't have anything to do with it. But yeah, scary.
Yeah, well, we'll keep our eyes trained on LA. And I will say, though, McVay can make a lot out of nothing. And he has the past couple seasons after the Rams went all in for their Super Bowl. So we'll see what happens. If not, though, like, you can't ask for much more than having Jimmy G in the waiting if you're a Adams, Puka, or Kyron Williams owner. That being said, let's take a trip down to the southern United States, where in Houston, in the training camp of D'Amico Ryans and company, Joe Mixon continues to battle the injury bug. Joe, what you got?
Man, and it's sad because I was just talking about my dynasty team, but yeah, this is another one of my old pieces that I have at running back, and I don't really know what's going on with him. I know they put him on the non-football injury list or something weird like that. So I don't know, but is he like officially like missing time? Like he's missing like 4 to 5 weeks or?
So the official statement is that they're going to reevaluate him closer to the start of the season, which is terrifying.
I think he misses 2 weeks minimum.
Yeah,
I don't know. And who do they have? They have Nick Chubb. They just threw over there last year, right?
Nick Chubb and Woody Marks is their rookie, which seems like he's more of a pass catching back, but that's about it.
Yeah, I don't have too much to say on Joe, but he seems like he's one of those guys that, hopefully with any running back, I mean, whenever you're drafting or whenever you're making trades or whatever it is in dynasty or whatever the hell you're doing, you want to have running backs that are on teams that are going to score. Now, do we think that the Houston Texans are going to score? I want to hear from you guys.
Their O-line is just it's really scary, especially for a running back. I think Joe Mixon, I don't want to say he got lucky, but a little bit of like a touchdown regression incoming for their running back room. So even if he is healthy, he's just scary here. And I don't like the fact that obviously this isn't like a shoulder injury where he can wear some sort of like harness. Like he's using his foot. We don't know what it is, kind of like the Stafford thing. They're being super ominous. It's rumored to be potentially like a non-healing fracture in his foot, which is not great, or a Liz Frank injury, which is like the bone that ETN hurt, I think, prior to his rookie season. It's like a pretty major bone in your foot that you can have a lot of lingering issues with.
So where he broke by falling off of a ledge.
Was not that one, thankfully, but yeah, I would know about foot anatomy. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's not great. And again, I hate how ominous they're being, kind of like the Stafford thing, where this could be a nothing burger and he's playing week 1, just maybe a little bit hampered, or he could be out like 3/4 of the year. So again, I'm glad that our redraft league drafts the weekend before the season starts, because if I was drafting right now, I would be terrified to pick this guy.
I'm going to take an alternate perspective on Mr. Mixon here and say that he is potentially a league winner if you get him late because of this injury. I think that he's going to fall well into the third round, maybe even more, maybe fourth or fifth round, especially if they confirm he's going to miss a couple weeks of the season. We have a friend that does this all the time. He will stash, I won't say Joe Mixon's elite anymore, but he's very serviceable players. Maybe bite the couple L's at the beginning of the season and then just go a run. So I like, as somebody who was RB needy last year, I got Joe Mixon on my radar, man. Like, I think that when he comes back, he'll be perfectly in that RB 13 to 17 range, assuming he had played the whole season. And then you have opportunity week to week, like where he cashes 2, sometimes 3 touchdowns and you're living on cloud 9. So also, I'm just now realizing he's wearing a black bandana on his arm in this photo here. It's a little bit scary.
Don't ask any questions.
Tough, man.
Yeah,
questions, but it's tough looking.
I wouldn't want to run into this guy in a back alley after the bar. We'll just say that.
Wouldn't want to be his girlfriend either.
But I think from an efficiency perspective, we all expected him to take the big step back when he left the Bengals and came over to the Texans. I didn't see a lot of improvement like on the roster from the Texans this offseason. So assuming we get a little bit more of the same RB 13 through 17, and you potentially can get some value here if you stag him here in the 6th round of your redraft.
Yeah, I think depends on how high you are on Houston. Like if you think they're going to score a lot, I think there's a weird metric out there. I think it's like 50% of scoring in the red zone happens from like the running back position or something weird like that. That might be super fucking wrong. But either you want to have a running back for sure on a team that is going to score a lot, and if they're not going to score a lot, you want them to be catching passes a lot, in PPR formats, of course. So yeah, just for me, it's like he's kind of old. I don't think there's I don't really like the system in Houston right now. It looked pretty shitty, and Stroud looked pretty shitty under that system last year as well. But yeah, no, I like taking him late for sure, and I hope for my sake he does well because I own him in Dynasty, and then I'm pretty thin at running back, so
we'll keep our eyes on Mr. Mixon's ADP. If it slips too far, I'll be definitely targeting him. But we'll now transition to the Washington football team because I refuse to call them the Commanders. They should have just kept the Washington football team. And their beef with Terry McLaurin after a career year where he put up well over 1,000 yards, was a top 15 wide receiver in fantasy, arguably a top 10 wide receiver like in the league in real life. They cannot come to terms on an extension agreement, and he's now requested a trade out of Washington, which is some pretty big news this late in the game. I feel like, but to have Parsons and McLaurin hit after trading camp has started is pretty rare, at least in recent NFL standards. And it seems like they're pretty far off from a deal perspective. So, he's going to be 30 soon if he's not 30 already. He was Jaden Daniels' favorite target by far and contributed to a lot to his success. So if I'm the ownership group there in Washington, I got to find a way to keep this guy around. My rookie quarterback liked throwing him the ball. And he showed flashes, the flashes we wanted him to show earlier in his career, where it's like, yeah, this guy can on paper beat guys over the top, and then it just wouldn't happen. We finally saw it all come together last year. And, this is somebody who I think carried a lot of teams to victory in redraft last year because you got him so late. I personally was a Terry McLaurin owner, and it was the only reason why I made the playoffs because the rest of my team was an utter dumpster fire. I had no running backs. So if he were to leave this roster, let's pull up the current Commanders / Washington football team / R-word depth chart. And you've got not a lot to love here outside of an overweight Debo and Christian McCaffrey's brother. Corey, what's your thoughts here? If you're a Commanders fan or just somebody who's looking at this depth chart trying to make sense of it?
You just got to hope that this is one of those deals where they just pay the man and move on. I personally don't see how they actually trade him if they want any hope of repeating anything that they did last year. So, yeah, it's a tough depth chart. Noah Brown kind of popped off last year for a few weeks and had a pretty decent season, I think, for the second half. But, man, if that's your wide receiver 2, potentially wide receiver 1, depending on how many Big Macs Debo is eating, I don't know, man. It's tough. You know, Luke McCaffrey, he's getting a lot of camp talk. No, thank you. Jalen Lane, who the fuck are you? Michael Gallup, rest in peace, Joe. I don't know. I think he retired for a minute, and this is like potentially a starting wide receiver for you. It's tough, boys. I don't think he gets traded for the record, but if he does, Keith is an owner. I'm curious in Dynasty. Are you hoping he gets traded? Do you like where he's at with Daniels? I mean, obviously he had a good year last year with Daniels, but do you want him to end up like on the, I don't know, we'd have to pull up the trade chart next, but some other team that would any team be better, I guess is what I'm trying to ask.
Outside of the elites, so think Kansas City, Baltimore, Cincinnati, like in a Higgins-McLaurin swap, I don't see any other team being a better fit than the Commanders just because he's by far the bell cow on this depth chart. I think most owners, myself included, are like, yeah, I hope this guy stays put. This is where he actually succeeded and became what we all thought he could become. So yeah, I'm hoping he stays put. I don't think the Chiefs have the firepower to go out and get him. Philly and Baltimore have a lot of money tied up in their receivers, but we do have some odds here, and Joe's going to walk us through where he thinks Terry's going to end up.
Las Vegas Raiders.
I hope not.
Raiders. Dude, this guy, hey, let me tell you something. This guy, he's a Las Vegas Raider. This guy's going to Las Vegas. How much you want to bet? You guys already got your old head, dude. You don't need him. You guys already got your old ass wide receiver one. Hey, dude, also, imagine fat ass Debo as your wide receiver one, dude. That is the most depressing thing you could possibly have. If you have Debo as your wide receiver one, cashed. Oh, wow. We got the team odds here. My Beazle. All right, let me look.
Imagine a Patriots team, dude, while you digest that.
Dude, wait, Raiders plus 500? Bro, I was on to something. Let's fucking go. I didn't even look at this slide, my Beazle boys.
The October wind is a Raider.
I literally just pulled that on my ass. I'm like, I think the Raiders need a guy like him. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, I'm going Raiders then. I'm going Raiders, baby.
Do we think the Titans have enough brain cells in their front office to make this trade? Because I think it'd be I think it's maybe a little too soon to contend, but like for Cam Ward's growth, I think it'd be a good trade.
They still have Ridley.
They do have Ridley.
Ridley's going to be good this year, side note, but that's beside the point. Nick Westbrook-Ikine is replaceable, I will say.
So Keith, if he gets traded to the Chargers and your options are keep him on the Commanders or trade him to the Chargers, which one are you more happy with?
Who do the Chargers even have anymore besides Ladd?
They're about to sign the ghost of Keenan Allen.
Okay, Keenan Allen's dead. QJ can't catch the ball. Next.
They have a couple rookies, the one that's blown up camp that we'll talk about later.
I like the Ole Miss kid.
Trey Harris.
Trey Harris, but he looked not good in the Hall of Fame game. And candidly, so did every player on the field in the Hall of Fame game. That was one of the more sloppy NFL games, preseason or not, that I've ever seen. So I'm going to go ahead and respond that I would keep him on the Commanders at this time.
Okay. I like that.
It's Commanders versus Chargers. And that's also due to a lack of belief in Justin Herbert. Guy does not have that dog in him.
I couldn't agree more. Mr. Hypothetical, they call him. It's just no dog in sight. Maybe some cats, there's no dog.
You got to remember, this guy was a quarterback in the remnants of the Pac-12. All right, there's a reason why the Pac-12 doesn't exist anymore.
I'm gonna reserve my Mr. Herbert rant for a rainy day. So I agree.
Oh man,
you lit up when I said I don't believe in him. You lit up. We're making our way.
Yeah.
We're making our way around the country here, and next we will make our way down to Duval and talk about the two-way extravaganza that is Travis Hunter. And candidly, he's leaving a lot of owners nervous with how many snaps he's playing on defense in camp. But Corey, walk us through what you're seeing down there in Duval.
Yeah, so again, this time of year, we're going to kind of talk both sides of the coin with Dynasty and redraft, I think, just because it's such a hot topic and because everybody's approaching their drafts here. So I'm totally fine with this pick in Dynasty leagues that have IDP, especially. Obviously, this could be a game-breaking pick here. But in redraft or leagues that don't have IDP scoring, I just personally think that this guy's going to end up playing more cornerback than wide receiver. And I'm not going to quite pull my whole, like, why is everyone beating the drum for this guy, rant that I pulled on a couple others already. But I just think that as the year goes on, and I didn't include any graphics here of the depth chart for how good their cornerback and like kind of secondary room is on defense. It's bad. And I'm not trying to be that guy that just uses PFF for everything, but they have one guy in the top 100 rankings on PFF for playing in their secondary. So I think he's a legit cornerback. I think that he plays a lot more cornerback down the stretch than people want him to that are going to be picking him in their redraft leagues. And I'm personally out on this guy. My last thing to say on this is that he played at Colorado, as everybody knows, and the Big 12's defense is a fucking joke. So that's all I have to say. I think he's going to be on the defensive side of the ball. I know he's splitting this whole like, oh my God, he's playing half the snaps on offense and half the snaps on defense. Can you believe that? Yeah, I dude, it's training camp. I think they put him in for some gadget plays, like when they're in the red zone, maybe, and he'll have some value there. But people are picking this guy in the same round or realm as Ted McMillan. And what are we doing? I'm just personally, again, I'm not going to pull my whole beat the drum thing, but I am out on this guy playing offense. So
yeah, you've also got BTJ very much still there, has a good rapport with Trevor Lawrence, and not many people do. You're in an interesting camp, though, because most people are assuming that he'll play more offense than defense. You're the reverse, saying he's only going to play gadget and red zone. Either way, the uncertainty is scary. And I don't think the Jags are obviously going to come out and say, oh, we're going to play him on 70% of offensive snaps. Like he's on a snap count. You're just going to have to observe and see. You're right. He shouldn't be in the same conversation as McMillan. But I think, number one, fantasy players are stupid. And they just haven't researched the fact that he's probably going to split snaps between offense and defense and what that means. And what it means is he's going to get pressed. He's going to get winded. I don't know. Was it Dion? No, it wasn't Dion. Geez. Somebody on one of the networks, don't remember what his name was, but basically he was talking about that they're going to send him on like streak routes or send their receivers against him on streak routes to tire this guy out in the hopes that he would get pulled out of the offensive scheme. So again, we'll see what happens, but I would probably value him in that next tier of wide receivers outside of the what we'll say is the elite crop of rookies like Tet. He's worth a gamble if you have a strong receiver room.
I don't know how you don't play him more on defense, and I don't see – I mean, you have CMC, who obviously is older, that just is falling apart at the Achilles playing offense, and you want this guy to play both ways. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So I think he's a better cornerback than wide receiver, bottom line. This is probably a hot take or whatever. I could be wrong. I don't have a crystal ball. I think that there's a world where he plays most of the offensive snaps and is a wide receiver too. But if I'm taking a lottery ticket at this point in the redraft draft and I see Ted McMillan sitting there who is going to lead his team in targets most logically, or Travis Hunter who's going to play extra snaps on defense, just an easy decision there. So,
quick point of clarification: is Adam Thielen still in the Panthers?
He is.
Joe's gonna lead in targets. I don't know, man. Joe's a noted Thielen truther, dude.
He's gonna punch you through the screen, man. It's disrespectful.
Yeah, man. Hey, man. Shout out to Go Adam Thielen. But just reminiscing on the old Minnesota days. The boy 19.
Joe started floating there for a second. He was at US Bank Stadium doing the skull champ, brother. There was scenes passing in front of his eyes. I hope.
Hey, man, what a great fucking flex, dude. When nobody was there for me, fucking Adam Thielen was, dude. So couldn't pay me to hate him. Anyways, why are we talking about Adam Thielen?
We were talking about Ted McMillan's target share, but I think we're going to close the book on that conversation.
Yeah, we should. Unless you guys want to talk about that.
We're gonna keep on rolling here.
Clean up on aisle Joe here.
Yeah, let me clean off all the.
Speaking of the Raiders in Las Vegas, we're gonna now transition to have a little bit of a discussion about some guys that are running under the radar but getting rave reviews out of training camp as we roll into preseason. Once preseason hits, you may not have the chance to roster some of these guys because they're going to flash in their targets and snaps that they get that they won't likely get during the regular season. So we're going to start off with Deontay Thornton, who's Corey's first entry here. What do you got on Deontay?
So 4th round pick here for the Raiders, vertical threat out of Tennessee. Tennessee kind of used him in a weird way. They kind of used him situationally. He only got, I think, like 9% of their team targets. But he's fast. He ran a 4.3 40, and he's 6'4", 205 pounds. So he's getting rave reviews out of Raiders camp. He's running with the ones. Obviously, no preseason work yet. But we all know that Geno Smith is on the Raiders as a new QB. He likes to throw bombs. He has a big arm. And all I'm reading all over the Twitter and all these articles coming out from ESPN, just recapping the camps, is that he's just killing it. So his player comp is Nico Collins, who is also 6'4", 200 plus pounds. And I just think that, again, this is the Raiders. They draft really poorly historically for the most part. A lot of people see them as turning the corner here. And I just think he's a great fit on this team. They have, why am I blanking on who their wide receiver one is right now?
Jacoby Myers, Patriots legend.
Thank you, Keith. Jacoby Myers, who is just not as big of a vertical threat here. They kind of need that and are looking for that based on reports to open up the offense. So I don't know. He's like 71% owned in your sleeper leagues based on the that little function there. And I just think he's a good pickup. If you have room on your taxi squad, room on your bench, like this guy's a potential starting wide receiver that could kind of pull a Nico Collins. I'm not saying he's going to be Nico Collins. That's crazy. But this is exactly what I did with Nico Collins is I snagged him on waivers after his first year and just he blew up into what he is now. So I like Deontay Thornton. Obviously didn't get a lot of work in college, but I think he's got a lot of potential to put up some points here.
Yeah. So did you talk about he went to Tennessee yet? Did I miss that? I know.
Yeah.
Did you say Tennessee?
Yeah, Tennessee. I just said that they used him as a deep threat, and 9% of their targets went to him, which is
yeah. Sorry, Tennessee's such a wash for me last year because they had Nico completely burning the team to the ground. I mean, we're all 3 Arkansas fans, and we beat them. Like Tennessee was dog shit last year, despite Josh Hoople's best efforts. So Hoople. But where I'm going with this is, I don't know where you pulled your comp from, 6'4", 230. Yeah, I guess Nico Collins, but the most famous 6'4", 230-pound wide receiver in the NFL is DK Metcalf. And if I look at this guy, he kind of looks like DK Metcalf. I'm not saying he's going to be him, and he's probably a better route runner than him.
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean?
I'm just kidding.
Which part? He's got the build of DK Metcalf.
I know, man. I know. And I like this point because DK sucks my ass and he can only run straight. So I don't have a lot of tape on this guy. I don't have the Clyde eye test ready, but I'm interested. I'm intrigued.
That's all I'm asking you to be, if it moves something downstairs for you, pick him up.
He ran a 4.3.
Jesus, at 6'4"?
4.3, yeah.
Would you say he was 2 what?
215?
Oh, I see. Oh, okay.
Oh,
okay.
Dude.
I thought you said 230. So you said
232.
Maybe I misspoke, but no, his 40-yard dash was a 4.3.
He's listed at 6'5", 205 on Sleeper.
So
let's get
big boy.
Let's get a comp outside of Nico Collins.
Dude, this is what I saw. And again, for the youngins, people may have already forgotten DK. He's in the nursing home with with Mr. Rogers over there.
Interesting.
Somebody's getting mad. Did you really just say DK's ass? Yeah, he is. Go watch our DK video.
Oh, dude.
I'll tell you why.
Yeah, save your breath. Just watch the video. Yeah, I mean, Raiders receiver room is pretty open. Myers, Jack Beck, who I think will be good. And then Trey Tucker, like, are they going to keep leaning into the Cincinnati product, Trey Tucker, or are they just going to let him ride off into the sunset? Because he was low-key a little bit dangerous off the waiver wire at the tail end of last year.
He was, and I just dropped Trey Tucker for this guy.
Ooh, spicy.
Yep, that is the train has left the station in this household. So, no, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I'm trying to be realistic, but I do think, any rookie wide receiver that gets a starting opportunity on a team that's arrow is pointing up. It's not like the Raiders of old, the last like 5 years. I'll take a share of him. So,
I agree.
Yeah,
there's no competition really. Jacoby Myers, like, come on, bro, give me a break. Why not?
Patriots legend.
Patriots legend, but give me a break. Give me a break. That's what I'm saying.
All right, man, you're done. Speaking of teams that used to be in California or left and went back to California, I don't know, teams that moved within California. We're going to go to the Los Angeles Chargers, who play their away games at their home stadium. And typically when a guy has 3 names hyphenated, he's pretty good. Maurice Jones Drew, for example. I got beer on my mind. But Corey's also bringing to the fold we'll just call it a sweetheart in the Hall of Fame game, Keandre Lambert-Smith.
Yeah, and this is who I was referencing earlier. They got Trey Harris, who has not done shit, and people are waiting on that to happen out of Ole Miss. But yeah, this guy is another kind of camp darling here, and this is kind of what the segment's supposed to be, is just highlighting these guys that are just getting rave reviews in camp. And like, I feel like 15% of the time this pans out, and then the other 85%, rest in peace, he just drifts off into the sunset. Brian Edwards, maybe some people remember all the hype that he used to get, and then he just didn't do shit. But no, Mr. Lambert-Smith here, coming out of Auburn, another SEC talent. He's another deep threat, specialist here. He's a little bit smaller though. He is 6'1", 193. But he had, against Arkansas, I hate to say, he did torch us for 156 yards and 2 scores this past season. He had a total of 5 catches for 980 yards and 8 touchdowns at Auburn last year. So yeah, I think the Chargers they've been very open and honest about needing a deep threat because Ladd plays out of the slot, and they want somebody to emerge on the outside. Is that going to be Trey Harris? It's certainly not going to be the ghost of Keenan Allen. But I think this guy, who?
Quentin Johnson, the ghost.
Oh, come on now.
He looked better last year.
I'll give him that. I'm sorry. I forgot he existed. Yeah, I'm sorry, QJ. You as well. But no, he had in the Hall of Fame game kind of the highlight of the day, the 2 passes for 43 yards and a touchdown. He's been buzzing out of camp. He's a 5th-round rookie for them. And the player comps that I found for him are Robert Woods, who used to be nasty before he kind of fell off, and Tyler Lockett, who is somehow still in the league on the Titans. So, yeah, I don't know. Another one of those lottery tickets that if you have the room, he's getting a lot of hype. Somebody's probably already snagged him based off of the camp reports in the Hall of Fame game. But, yeah, snag him, put him on your bench, put him on your taxi, see what happens. Fun fact here, he is the nephew of Cam Chancellor. So, yeah.
Can we get the initial, what was it? It was a 3 names hyphenated. What was the stat?
I was just saying guys with 3 names typically are good.
Hey, man, what about Clyde Edwards-Helaire? He could be ass. He could be ass.
We have JSN too.
Yeah, no,
JSN.
I mean, I guess that's probably a pretty good man. Keith's in the trends, man. But yeah, no, I like it. I don't know why we're getting some QJ love in here. Throw that guy in the dumpster if you got him, bro. You can't hold on to a freaking ball, dude. I'd dump him in the ocean. But yeah, no, I like it. This would be like a great Forge candidate if we were still doing our Scrapyard Forge segment. But Yeah, I like him. I like all the camp buzz around him. I like him, especially juxtaposed with Quentin Johnson, just because I think he's just so ass. I was watching some camp footage on him, and he's just dropping balls left and right. Like still, like even in practice, like Herbert's just throwing him dots, and he is just throwing them on the ground. It's just utterly tragic. But yeah. Do you have any do you have the sleeper metrics on and how many teams he's rostered on right now?
Yeah,
What is
I got it.
roster?
71%. He was added off waivers July 9th in my league. And Deontay was drafted with the 506. So I'm 0 for 2 on getting these boys.
Smart man, whoever did that. Or woman.
No. It was a man.
Just had to cover my bases there. But no, I think all these guys in these segments are a little like Keith's guy in a minute. But pre-game here, I said, who the fuck is this? So
those are the best though.
They are, but I'm not gonna have shit to talk about with him. So
shout out DJ Giddens.
Yeah. Anyways, that's all I got.
Roger.
Two good picks. I'm gonna throw 2 in front of the group here. Starting with Cam Ward's teammate at Miami, and also the teammate at Oregon State of DJ Uiagalelei. And Joe's face, he's just like, yep.
DJ Ukulele.
DJ Uiagalelei. And this man's name is Damian Martinez, and he was drafted late, I think 6th or 7th round by the Seattle Seahawks. And let me just kick off this conversation by saying this guy's built Ford tough. No question, he's the number 1 selling vehicle in America, the Ford F-150, because he's got that dog in him. 6.2 yards per carry across 3 seasons. He's over 6 foot tall as a running back, hence the build Ford tough. Ran a 4.5 40 at that height, so pretty impressive. And I don't know if you've been paying attention. I don't know if you guys are 12th men yourselves, but breaking news out of Seahawks camp is Kenny McIntosh has torn his ACL, leaving the Seahawks depth chart at running back to be Kenneth Walker, who's already confirmed to be hurt and is nursing an injury in camp. Zach Charbonnet, who a lot of people like to take some basically Bucky Irving 2.0 of last year to take over as the lead back in Seattle. But then number 3 running back, assuming Kenneth Walker goes down or misses time, like this guy's going to see some touches this year for Seattle. The proof is in the pudding. Like he's got the build. He's got the speed. I don't see any reason why he can't be successful. And candidly, if he can be durable, like who knows what Seattle will do with Kenneth Walker at this point, right? If he can't stay healthy and they've got this guy waiting in the wings, he's kind of built like Bucky. I don't see any reason why he's not worth the flyer in your fantasy league. I will tell you how many leagues teams he's rostered on, but I wanted to get, while I pull that up, what are your guys' initial thoughts on Damian Martinez? This is 56% rostered, available in my league out of Miami.
That's more than I thought. This is the guy I was just referencing where I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Which is great. I don't have a lot to say. Miami was pretty good last year. I remember watching him in one of the games that Cam Ward just went off, and they were commenting on how good the running back was. So that just came back to me. I think he does have some opportunity here. Really unfortunate news with the Kenneth Walker thing. I think we had that on the quick hitters list, but was already nursing an ankle injury that he was improving from. Now he's got some sort of ominous foot thing, which is just a running back, I guess, theme this offseason here.
Dude, I love these guys that you can just like quickly just grab if they're just floating around on your waiver wire and you have space for them. You can just shove them in your taxi or, put them on the roster and, give it some time, let them grow, throw them in the forge, as we say.
I like it. Everybody riding with my boy Damian Martinez. Lot to love there. And then the other one I'll just throw out in front of you is a household name out of Dan Lanning's beautiful offense on the Oregon Ducks. Mighty Oregon last year made a college football playoff run. Tez Johnson is somebody who's lurking on the waiver wire across many, many leagues. And the reason for that is because he went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. After they drafted Emeka Egbuka, Jalen McMillan kind of had his first, I won't call it a breakout, but a break-in year. And then you've got Chris Godwin returning on a massive deal because the Patriots can't do anything right. And obviously Mike Evans is a lock. Like Mike Evans will get 1,000 yards until his balls fall off. So like the reason why he's sitting out there is because nobody believes like he's going to start as like a wide receiver 6 on this team just because of the sheer talent they have at the position. But this guy's electric. Out of all the wide receivers in this class, he was second in Yipper, yards per route run, at 6.2 yards. He's electric in the open field, super speedy. And then he also has a little bit of a punt return, kick return capability as well. And that's where I think he will earn his touches with the Bucs. They're going to throw him out there, returning punts. He's going to look absolutely awesome. Maybe get an injury to Godwin or one of the older receivers on the team, and he could squeak in there potentially. If you remember Trey Palmer out of Nebraska, he was supposed to do the same thing, and he ended up being dog shit. So I'm hoping that this man will be able to accomplish that. And hopefully in 2, 3, maybe 4 years, he's a wide receiver 3 on the Buccaneers. I'm not saying he's going to be like a serviceable like wide receiver 2, but I do think he could be a flex in 3, 4 years. And if you have the room on your roster, why would you not stash him? And most of us play in leagues that do give you the capability to throw somebody like this on a taxi squad, and then you look like a freaking genius in 3 years. Your thoughts?
Beautiful. Another porch candidate, man. You know, you just love these guys, man. These are the guys that you freaking go out there and you get and you stash them, and then you look like a genius. And you know what? If nothing happens, or if something happens, and you know you don't need them, then just freaking drop them. And you know you might get made fun of a little bit in the chat, like, dude, what the hell are you doing? Why are you burning fob for, or whatever? You probably don't even need to spend any on this guy. Probably give him for free. But yeah, these are great candidates. These are guys you just go out. You're not, you know, there's no risk. Just roster them.
Looking at the current depth chart right now, sorry, Corey, they have him listed as wide receiver 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because they also have Sterling Shepard. So it will be very interesting to see if Shepard makes the 53-man roster. If Shepard gets cut, I like this guy's chances.
How long has Shepard been? This is like at least 2 years, right? With Tampa. I feel like I've been seeing that name kind of floating around.
It's a great
every year on Tampa.
This is year 2. This will be year 2.
To be honest, yeah. I thought he was still riding on the Giants. I did not know he was on the Buccaneers. Pretty tough.
Yeah, I mean the Bucs like to be pretty deep at wide receiver, I've discovered. So got to get Baker his weapons, man. Got to get him his weapons.
Yeah, and that's really my only comment here. You brought up Jalen McMillan, but they have to be thinking the post Mike Evans and Chris Godwin era in Tampa Bay. So, all right, man.
Hey, just so everyone watching, these guys are literally kill themselves in the studio chat over and over again.
It was the big part of that one that got me. I thought I could compose myself.
Last message here: fuck off, big pussy.
Yeah, that one took me out. I'm sorry.
Hey, side chat, man. You got to make sure you're dialed in for production purposes.
Yeah, practicing for the fantasy football season, chat. But no, I think they got to be looking forward there because, again, Mike Evans is getting old. He is going to fall off a cliff at some point. Chris Godwin's ankle is still healing from being detached from his body. And, yeah, they've got Jalen McMillan. They've got Egbuka. And I think this guy has, you know, I'm a Jalen McMillan truther because I have him in a dynasty league, but I don't think there's any reason this guy can't leapfrog him and have a relevant role on this team in the next couple of years. So, yeah, again, great pick. I don't know much about him, but thanks for informing me.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna add him right now in our league.
Yeah, please don't do that. Other than that, we just wanted to run through some quick hitting news that Corey's just going to take us through as we wrap up this episode coming out of training camp. So we talked about Kenneth Walker. Corey, what else you got?
First of all, I just wanted to talk really quick about Bath and Body Works again. Really hoping for a bit of a partnership here today. I have the pumpkin bonfire candle, bit of a banger for the time of year that we're approaching. So, hoping to feature a candle on maybe each episode. And yeah, Bath and Body Works. Your girlfriend's gonna take you there. Buy one of their candles. Buy a hand sanitizer, and that's all I got. But no, quick hit. A lot of stuff going around the league. We've got Kenneth Walker, who has 2 straight DNPs with his weird little foot thing he's got going on. And then we also have Khalil Shakir, has a high ankle sprain, out 4 to 5 weeks, which is going to kind of put him on edge for week 1. So a little bit of a risk there.
Joe, are you okay?
Yeah, no, we're good.
Shakir news?
Yeah, I mean, I'm lucky. I've been taking a lot of them in mocks, so that is actually news to me. I was not aware. Maybe it's Keon Coleman's season now. Probably not. But.
Negative.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. He does open up the Dalton Kincaid tight end 1 train, you know.
I do love that.
Already left the station in our households, I think. But yeah, and then what am I missing? Besides the Parsons thing, Joe, do you want to elaborate at all? You got it all out of your system, or do you think he gets traded, or do you think that they work it out? I guess you can kind of
I don't know. I mean, like, I'll be honest, like I love Parsons, but I mean, he is pretty vocal when it comes to this stuff. Like, he's a big Twitter guy. He's always going to speak his mind on things. But I could see, like, maybe if Jerry Jones has even a few brain cells left, which doubtful, that he goes and talks to this guy who, again, he's a generational talent, and smooths things over and gets something done, and maybe throw in some extra for dragging this guy through the mud. From some of the stuff that I saw in Parsons' statement about him, you know, just like pretty much sucking it up and playing ball even when they couldn't get anything done. You know, like, maybe throw in some additional incentives, because you're treating our best defensive player, our best edge runner ever, like absolute dog shit. So edge rusher, sorry, I said edge rusher, like absolute dog shit. And it's just so sad to see as a Cowboys fan, as a genuine Cowboys fan. It's so sad to see, man, because we need this guy. Like, he's such a focal point in this offense that I don't even think I would talk to you guys for a few days if we let this guy go somewhere else. And I especially, like, some of the rumors that I've been seeing, like, oh my God, it makes me sick. But we got to treat our players better, man. Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, what the hell are you guys doing? I hope this gets. What are you guys doing? What are you doing? Anyway, that's all I got to say about that.
I'm sorry that you have to like Dallas. You know, some of us have 2 team planes and multiple Super Bowl championships.
At least I got the Dallas Stars, man.
It's true. Who haven't won since 1999?
That was mean.
Good the last couple of years.
They have been really good. They're all in. If it doesn't happen in next 2, they're cash. But they're closer than the Bruins, that's for sure. A couple other things as we wrap up. A lot of people were concerned about Justin Fields potentially being out for an extended amount of time or all season. Like the initial tweets when he injured I think it was his left leg, maybe it was right. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But one of his legs was that he needed to be evaluated like stat, but he looks no worse for wear. He's back out there scrambling on all over the place for the Jets. And the Browns have also signaled that they're going to trade one of their like 5,000 quarterbacks. So Gabriel, Shedeur, Flacco, and who am I missing? There's one more.
Pickett.
Kenneth
Wait,
Pickett.
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did not. Did this just come out tonight? I did not see this.
They haven't posted about it, but all the insiders are saying that, yeah, they're going to move from one of them. Keep in mind, Deshaun Watson's still on this roster. I think everybody's forgetting that he
That was
he
that
goes
was what I was
back.
going to say, but I was like, that dude is like ultra mega cashed.
Yeah, I mean, he's out for the year, I believe. So we'll see. A lot of people think Flacco is going to win this job through and through. So you could see them, tossing Gabriel to a QB needed team for like a 7th. The other, toast around camp is Jameis Winston is potentially available for the right price, but sounds like the Giants don't want to just give him up for nothing. Because he is a guy that can rip 4 touchdowns and 4 interceptions a game and is a good locker room presence. And that's really all you need out of a backup quarterback. So before we wrap up here, anybody have anything else they want to highlight training camp news-wise?
I got nothing.
Joe, would you trade Parsons for Hendrickson?
No. Oh, fuck? How dare you?
Is that what you thought about last night?
Like a Connor level
just
Clyde level question.
I'm sorry, it was just a hypothetical.
It's like a C player for an A player, if you're comparing the two.
I mean, Hendrickson's led the league in sacks the past couple of years, so
I'm not saying he's an overall C, but if you put him next to Parsons, he's a C.
No, I agree. I was just curious. I don't know. Some of the Cowboys fans are like very legitimately mad at Parsons. I've seen on Twitter. Like this happened with us too, where Hendrickson was holding out, and they were like, "You selfish fuck! Like you need to get out of here if you're not a team player." It's like, all right.
I'm not gonna bash my boy Parsons, but I'll just say he is very vocal when he is upset about something or something on his mind. He's gonna take to Twitter and he's gonna let everybody know what the hell is going on in Dallas, which is probably a good thing because there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that is freaking ridiculous. The way that Jerry Jones, runs the Cowboys, pretty much like a circus. So
definitely, yeah. There's 2 very unique teams in the way that they're run. Packers because they're public, and Dallas. Like the rest of the teams are generally pretty similar, but it's definitely a big old silver belt buckle. I'm the sheriff in town vibe with Jerry Jones down there. So we'll see. We'll keep track of all this news as more news continues to come out. We'll keep everybody updated on Twitter and on Reddit and on YouTube and all the other places you can find our content. Really appreciate everybody tuning in to the Fantasy Forge Training Camp Report. If you'd like to see more of these videos, leave us a like. Follow us on Twitter/X and find some of our clips across YouTube. But appreciate everybody tuning in. Have a good rest of your day.